returning to open session at 7:06 p.m. Should I get a roll call, please?
Student trustee Tam.
Present.
Student trustee Umtouch.
Present.
Trustee Walker.
Present.
Trustee Gallegos.
Here.
Trustee Tejada.
Here.
Vice President Salahuddin. Here. President Lee.
Here. All right. Approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda this evening?
Yes, we're gonna pull item 20A1 off of the agenda.
Great. Thank you very much. Do we have a motion
To approve the agenda as amended.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, moving on to the governing board annual reorganization, item 9A, electing a board president. Do we have any nominations from the floor?
I would like to nominate Halima Salahuddin for board president.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Are there any other nominations for board president? Seeing as there are none. Move to vote. Motion. You've got. Oh, yeah, you have a motion to vote. All right, you can second my motion just now.
No, I mean, move to approve.
Move to approve. Okay.
Move to approve Halima Salahuddin as board president.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You just like I know, I didn't think of it.
Before we move on to the next item, I just wanted to give the board some time if they wanted to say anything to our outgoing board president. It's okay. Yeah, I know. But go ahead. Because Andy, what I was trying to do is I'm trying to give myself time to fix my laptop.
Got it.
So, okay. So I don't know if anyone had anything they would like to say to our outgoing president.
Oh, well, I'll start off by saying it's been a pleasure working with you this past year, Andy. Getting to know you personally and both, all the work that you've done here. And it's actually pretty inspiring to see everything that you guys have done. And, I'm looking forward to some more years putting in that good work with you. And I appreciate you, showing me some of that guiding light that you have and with your experience here. And yeah, definitely looking forward to some more time with you, Ben. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm all set up to go now. Okay, so now I'm moving on to our next item, which is the election of board vice president. If there's any nominations for vice president.
Nominating Jerome Gallegos as vice president.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none, can I get a motion to approve the nomination?
So
So
moved.
Second, all those in favor? Yeah.
Aye.
All right, congratulations.
You came on the right night, huh? Name tags. What's your name?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh,
Thank you.
We need a.
well, actually, it's a whole lot. We have to do this. Oh, okay, never mind.
It's all good. Well, we can do that.
Yeah.
We did later.
No. Okay. Next item on the agenda is to elect a board clerk. Can I get a nomination?
I nominate Sherette Walker for clerk.
I second.
All right. Motion and a second. Are there any other nominations? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the nomination?
So moved.
Second. All right. All those in favor of that nomination, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Congratulations. Come on down.
You have to. My meetings are done.
Yep.
Yeah. Do I get? Yeah, you'll have to deal with those later.
Okay. Our next item on the agenda is to appoint a board secretary. Normally, that appointment is always our superintendent. Can I get that nomination?
Move to nominate, sorry, Tony Presta as the board secretary.
Second.
Hearing no other nominations, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor of appointing Superintendent Presta as our board secretary, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, congratulations. You're so lucky. Okay. All right, so moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is one of the things that we really, one of our favorite things to do is to highlight our students. And so our next item on the agenda is our December Student of the Month. And I am going to turn this over to Mr. Harrigan, who is our Jefferson High School principal.
I was going to change seats, but I don't know. I think maybe.
You're part of the rotation.
Yeah, it could be. Okay, so Jefferson High School is proud to present Liana Myvet, a 12th grade student who has earned unreserved respect and admiration from students and staff alike as the JUHSD Student of the Month. Liana's teachers and coaches describe her as sweet, talented, intelligent, kind, hardworking, reliable, mature, thoughtful, and joyful. I could go on. She has an unwavering commitment to personal growth and a willingness to embrace challenges. Liana is truly exceptional. She has been involved in student government at Jeff for the past 4 years, where she has served as freshman class treasurer, publicity and spirit commissioner, and currently as our ASB treasurer. In her role as treasurer, she oversees all fundraising activities on campus and ensures that all clubs and organizations utilize proper financial processes. Liana has also been a leader for our Unity Day program. Unity Day is designed to push students to step out of their comfort zones through activities that challenge them to reflect on stereotypes, beliefs, and actions. Unity Day helps students develop a greater understanding of their classmates and foster awareness of actions which promote unity. Liana was one of the first students that staff recommended to help lead this new program, and she jumped right in and has excelled as a leader. In addition to her involvement in the ASB and Unity Day, she is a member of our cheer team, our school site council, and is currently serving as president of our Key Club. She also challenges herself academically, having taken 7 advanced placement classes, a college course at Skyline last spring, and has been recognized by the College Board for earning the National African American Recognition Award and the National Hispanic Recognition Award. Those are a big deal. She has also worked for the Colma Department of Parks and Recreation for the past 2 years, all while earning a UC GPA of 4.0. She does all of this with a very unassuming and positive attitude. She plans to study psychology in college. Liana has witnessed firsthand the impact of mental health on her friends, family, and even herself, which has inspired her to prioritize this field of study. Liana's experiences have given her a unique perspective on the importance of mental health and the individuals who provide support. She values the role that both professionals and her own contributions play in helping individuals navigate their mental health struggles. Her empathy and dedication to making a difference in the lives of others is truly commendable and will make a difference. We're definitely a stronger and better community due to her contributions on campus, on the field and court, and in the classroom. On behalf of the faculty and staff, we are immensely proud of Liana and forever grateful to her parents for entrusting us to be part of her journey. We all can't wait to see what she accomplishes in her very bright future.
Great. We do offer space if you want to say anything. There's no pressure if you don't have to. You can just sit right there so they can hear you. Yeah.
I just want to say I'm really grateful for my parents because they're like part of the reason that I got this far in high school and like the reason I strive to be the person I am. And also to Mr. Harrigan and like all my teachers at Jefferson, because they truly do push me. And like without that motivation, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't like strive to do my best in cheer or school or any of the other things I do. But yeah. Thank you.
So we're going to take a picture together and then we're going to come back and talk about you. So hold on a second.
Take a couple. Okay. So opening it up for comments from my colleagues, starting with our student trustees.
I'll go.
Go ahead, Johnson.
I just wanted to say, shout out to Liana. We've been homies, like, honestly, like, fairly recently, I'll be real. But, like, bro, like, you helped me with, like, I was just telling her right now, you helped me with, like, my UC PIQs. And that is, like, so clutch. Like, that is just, like, the one of many things that you've done that has just been, like affected me positively. And, like, you're just S tier homie, right? You're the go, bro. But yeah.
Yeah. Did you have anything you want to say?
From what you said about you, you sound really awesome.
Nah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Trustee Tata.
I'm a Jefferson grad, so you make me very, very proud. And I really got 7 AP classes. That's so crazy. You're such an impressive young woman. I've known your mom since PTA, always volunteering. I really acknowledge that. What I really like is that it looks like you have made a difference in the lives of others, and that this is what's going to help, that you want to continue that. And I just want to commend you, and please come back and keep us posted on how well you're doing, because I know you will do just great things. Congratulations.
Very excited, and congratulations to you and to your family for all your hard work, and can't wait to see what you do next, because invariably with what you've done today, you're only going to build on it. And again, we can't wait to see what you will do with that. Congratulations.
I made a few notes, but probably not that important, but congratulations. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Things like this don't happen by accident.
It's a lot of hard work and purposeful intent. And I just kind of noticed the different types of things that Mr. Harrigan talked about. There's talked about your interest in mental health. And I think that's interesting because it's a current item of public concern. We talked about civic engagement, working for the city of Colma. Obviously you've done things with school, academically and with the community at school. You also took care of Dante. It's obviously of community importance. Congratulations. Like Rosie said, I think you should come back and see us, in how many years? 3 years, they'll be getting rid of one of these clowns on the school board. So if you're old enough, come check us out.
Congratulations, Liana. I'm also a Jeff grad myself, so that makes me proud to, see somebody up there from my old school representing the way you are and putting a good foot forward, at such a young age. At reading all these accolades that you had, it really made me think back, to back in my day when I wish that I would have been more of a leader like you are. I don't think, as an adult, you realize how important that is. How important it is to lead your peers, to show your peers, lead by example. And I know your parents are very proud of you for doing that. If you continue to do that, you're going to go places. So I'm proud of you for that. Keep up the good work.
And I will just say to you that I was super impressed reading the bio that was written up about you, that a lot of, especially adults, don't understand how hard it is to be a high school student right now. And the demands that we make on high school students, especially if you want to move on and go to college, are extreme. So to see that you meet that and then excel at the level that you've excelled is extremely impressive. And I hope that you do take the time to take care of yourself and be in the moment and recognize how special you are. And then lastly, I will just say, as a woman of color myself in a government role, that I hope you move on and see yourself, a future of yourself in legislation, because I would love to see more women of color run for office, and I would be very happy to vote for you one day. And another, just extending my gratitude to your family and all your support system that helped get you here, and to every single teacher and staff, because there's so many people that help us get to the places that we are in our schools, not just our teachers, but so many staff and faculty. Just a huge thank you to everyone that helped you on your journey. So, congratulations.
There's not a lot of things that haven't been said, but I jotted down a few things, and then I want to just really overall tell you that it's always my favorite item on board agendas when we have students that we get to see highlighted. And there are many, many, many students that really deserve to be highlighted, but there are only few who make it here. And it just gives me just such great pride. I hope that people are watching on YouTube to see the caliber of students that are coming through our schools and through Jefferson. And what stood out for me when Mr. Harrigan was talking was your personal growth and how you embrace challenges. That's going to serve you well in life. And the other thing is that you have all of these accomplishments. You're getting a 4.0, you're working, you're an ASB, you're leading Unity Days, like so many accomplishments. And those are very noteworthy. The thing that stood out to me is that Mr. Harrigan shared that the staff and your peers at Jefferson really know you're a good, kind human being, and that you care for others. And I echo what Board President Salahuddin said, like making sure that you are living in the moment. And I will add to that, caring for yourself. So I'm super proud of you. Thank you to your family for raising such an awesome person and for entrusting us with you. Thank you.
So we're going to carry on with board business, and some of it is a little boring. So you don't have to stay here. If you have someplace you have to go, you're not going to hurt our feelings. Feel free to go ahead and walk out. Yeah. No problem. Thank you. All right. So the next item on our agenda, thank you, is we had a practice run and now it's the real time to honor our outgoing board president, Andy Lee. So I know we have some acknowledgements. Do we just want to go over the acknowledgements? I don't know if anyone is here representing anyone. No.
I don't think it came, we have many that were sent for you. Would you like?
Yeah, we just go through. I don't know if I'm going to read them out loud.
Okay,
We'll just
you want
do
me to just say it?
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, you want to just hand them down?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
No worries. So I will go through acknowledgements and then we can go and everyone can say what they want to say to Andy. And then we have a reception. So first we have a resolution from the Board of Supervisors signed by Supervisor Canaba. And then we have, this is from the entire Board of Supervisors. And then this one is from Congresswoman Anna Eshoo, a certificate of appreciation. And then this is from our Assemblymember Phil King. And this one is from State Senator Josh Becker. Dante is impressed. So I'm just going to open it up to our Board of Trustees. Words of thanks to our outgoing board president.
Oh, for us?
Yeah, you don't have to start. Anyone can start, but if you want to start, Dante, feel free. Go ahead.
You already know me. I go off top.
There you go. That's okay.
I don't know if I'm being completely honest. Like, I've known you for a while now. You're super chill. You're always laid back. You're always like, you got some good humor going on. And like, I really can appreciate that. That's such a like, I feel like we need more of that. And so like, you're president, right? Just want to be sure.
I was.
Yeah.
You were.
Now I am.
You are.
Yeah.
To the microphone.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, you were a great president. I see you got all those awards. I must say I'm quite impressed. Welcome, Kalima. You're equally as great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dante.
Did you want to say anything?
Congratulations. And it seems like you are very, very hardworking.
Thank you.
It seems you're very hardworking. I love you. Number one. I was president for 2 years and you were my vice president. So we spent every single Wednesday meeting with our superintendent to go over agenda planning. And then as president, that was a third year of Wednesdays for you. And as my son, Evan, wanted me to convey to you, because he knows you love table wine, it will now be Wine Wednesdays for you. Well deserved. You've been just an awesome friend, incredible board member, invaluable leader, the voice of reason, and your knowledge of facilities and numbers. You're the number guy, and that's you always add value to everything that we do. We all have strengths on this board, and I think we complement each other so well. And now we've got President Salahuddin. You haven't been president for a while. It's going to be another era for us, and you'll get to see her even more in action But Andy, you've been just the best. And, you're my brother. You're my brother. Thank you.
So I've said this before and I'll say it again. Next time I'm going before Rosie. So Dante mentioned that you have good humor about you, and that's an amazing compliment from that source. And I think it's super accurate. I like to highlight how comfortable I felt since we first talked when I was thinking about running to now. The whole time through the process until I found out I was unopposed. You were there for me as a board member. You've been there for me when we went to the CSBA conference last year. You were very welcoming. You've been very welcoming the whole time. I remember going to, I don't know what the event's called, but it was held at Westmore and all the teachers came before school started. Like, I felt so comfortable with you, introduced me to all these people. And that's what I'd like to highlight. I could go on and I won't, but it's been a great first year with you as president. Feel like I've been well taken care of under your leadership and by the rest of the board as well. So thank you all. Thank you. Congratulations. Cheers.
Well, I hope your tradition of table wine Wednesdays sounds like it's going to interfere with our table wine date that we were supposed to have. So we got to figure out another date. We've been talking about it for a long time. But yeah, just like everybody's been saying, your leadership here is very evident. You, Kalima, the whole board, aside from the show, obviously being the new members, super impressive. It's been really amazing to kind of get to see all the hard work that you guys have put in over your years here, and really what it's taken to, get through all this policy and all these great things that you're doing for our school district and for our students. And it's a pleasure to be a part of that now. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys and getting your support in my new role here as the vice president, because I'm not sure if I was quite ready for that yet, but we'll figure it out.
It'll be fine.
But thank you for all your continued support and your leadership here for sure. It's very nice for all you guys. Yeah, thank you.
So I can't even talk about how incredibly grateful I am for all of your support, all of the leadership that you had over the past 2 years. These are volunteer positions. We are quote unquote paid, but these are volunteer positions. And then to give up extra time for the board president role. And through some there were some challenging moments there. And you're always kind of the rock that I need to calm down. I need to take a moment. You're usually one of the people that I look to. So I'm extremely grateful for how you lead. And that we're always district first. And there's not a lot of governmental organizations in our area that can say that. So I'm very blessed with the board that I have, and I'm very grateful for the leadership that you gave us, Andy, and I'm looking forward to following your example. So thank you.
Thank you.
Andy, I'm going to miss you on Wednesdays. All this talk on Wednesdays, I will be in the agenda planning meeting on my Wednesday afternoons. No, seriously though, I really will miss you. I have been very, very grateful. I think that the general public may not know how important the superintendent board relationship is, but it's very, very key to a functioning school district. And I'm very fortunate to have 5 awesome board members. The board president role, we talk all the time. We're texting. I really feel comfortable in sharing with you honestly when I need to. And I really value that. So I'm glad you're not going far. I will miss you though on Wednesdays. And thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So you have some gifts. So this one is for me. You get early start early on the table one.
Perfect.
It's down, huh?
No, at this point, I think everybody knows where to find me.
Yeah.
Saturday. Sure.
The bag says, I think you know what that is. And then the little plaque recognition. So. And fuck you. And now I think we are going to.
Oh, can I just
No.
say a couple?
No,
of
you cannot.
I'm done.
You're done. You're
I'm done.
not president
Good.
anymore.
That's
We just did a whole thing. Yes, no, go ahead.
First of all, I will not miss those Wednesdays. I'm happy to have them back. As much as I've enjoyed the past 3 years being a part of this. I am looking forward to just having that time back and being able to at least knowing me, I'll find something else to do with that hour. Thank you all for the kind words. It's really been an honor to be able to serve in this capacity this past year. And just grateful to all of you, to my fellow board members, to you, Tony, to the executive cabinet, and actually, and all to all the staff out there. I mean, you guys really do amazing work taking care of our students. I mean, we're parents and citizens up here. You know, we're not the educators. We're the ones who, I mean, yes, we do help set direction, but I mean, we look to you to really take care of our children. And I'm so grateful to all of you for all the amazing work you do. And I really just can't wait to see what else happens this year. I'm excited to see what you will be doing, Kalima, in your role as board president this year. And Jerome, you know way more than you realize, buddy. I'm really excited for you in this role as well, and as well for you, Charette. I mean, this is the best part about all of this is that we all get a chance to step up and take leadership and to learn and grow. I know that taking on leadership roles on this board has helped me grow in my own personal leadership and in learning how to be a better board member. Because there's nothing like being in this role and actually really seeing the inner workings of what happens. So grateful to you all, and thank you so much for your kind words.
Thank you.
All right, so yeah. I think we'll be back at 8. Okay, so let's just say 8 even. We'll come back. So we'll recess until 8 o'clock. Thank you.
We're gonna go next door for a little celebration.
Reconvening back to regular session. Thank you, everyone. And so jumping into the agenda, can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We met and closed, but we have nothing to report out. So I'm moving on to board communications. I am going to start with our trustees. Trustee from Westmore. Any updates, anything you want to, or just anything you want to let us know?
Currently we are having a winter's activity spirit week where this week was on Monday it was wear pajamas. Tuesday it was today is wear a cozy sweater. Wednesday is crazy day and they'll be, I believe, having a slime day. And then Thursday they'll be giving out free hot cocoa as well as I believe it's winter wear. And Friday it's wear blue and white.
Thank you. You want to go next?
Yeah. So over at Jeff, from what I can recall, there isn't too much going on. I know this week this is our rally week. Got a couple fun days. I don't remember all of the spirit days, but I just remember yesterday's was like ugly sweater day. And it was pretty cool. But yeah, so we got that. And then we got finals week next week. Teachers already got us doing finals. I'm not gonna lie, but it's good. But yeah, those are the two things I could just think of off the top of my head right now. Also we got a ping pong tournament going on too, actually. So that's kind of fire. But yeah, that's all that.
I think there are a couple ringers.
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't watching. I was painting in art.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's good. Thank you. Trustee Tahada.
Hi. So it's been almost 2 weeks that our entire board and our superintendent and many of our student trustees went to the California School Boards Association annual education conference. We attended a lot of workshops and I learned some things, but I think I just find that in many ways we're so forward thinking. It's hard to pick something that we haven't already dealt with. But it was good to meet up again with other board members from all over the state. And last night we had our Student Advisory Council meeting. Subcommittee report. And the Pacifica Collaborative and Sanchez Art Center came to speak to the students about their initiative, Art for a More Just and Peaceful Community. And so our students were asking a lot of questions and wanted to see how they could get involved. And that's it for me.
Picking up the CSBA conference in San Francisco. It was good to be able to attend various sessions and also network with many of our board colleagues. Always good to share ideas, especially it's in those sessions when you're walking in the hallways of the conference of the convention center and run into people. And then that's when a lot of conversations pop up about things that we're doing. Something that we might have learned in a session and then continue the conversation. So those are always good. And I just, seeing that this is our last official board meeting before the Christmas and winter holiday break, just wanted to wish everyone a happy holidays and a good break. And thank you again to everybody for your hard work. I know you're almost there. You got 8 more days? Come on, you can make it.
I won't talk much about the CSBA conference other than to say that I've been twice now, and both times I'm really moved by the speakers who talk about this school board governance as a way of expressing love. And it very much moves me. And I'll be good with that.
I don't have a whole lot to report on. I actually had to leave that CSBA conference early, so I didn't get a chance to hang out with my trustee colleagues here as much as I wanted to, unfortunately. But just on a personal note, I mean, I've got 3 kids' birthdays this month, so that's pretty much all I've been working on and planning on. They're all milestones. So I've got 10, 18, and 25 coming. So with that being said, it's been a long month, but we're getting through it, and happy holidays to everybody.
So again, I was at that conference and also at the delegate assembly. I serve as a delegate for this region. And so a lot of focus there was on mental health, and I know we're going to talk about it. We have our first interim, but I'm very proud of our school district and the fact that we continue to realize that mental health is a real issue. It's a health issue, and that we need to do what we can do on our campuses to provide services for our students. And so I've been following up with some school board members to meet with local legislators to continue that conversation and to see if we can get funds to help with that. And so I have a meeting coming up with Assemblymember Berman to continue that conversation on Thursday. We have our subcommittee reports, but I'm going to skip that. It just seems like enough of a
Thank you. We can switch the order on the agenda, actually. So, because you're right. Yes. So I too was at the CSBA conference. Our student trustees went. I haven't heard the download. I think we were really excited about it, but that it maybe wasn't as fruitful as we'd hoped. But I'm really proud of you guys for taking the day to really learn more about what it means to be a trustee. So I want to mention that, and for giving your time. Sort of what's happening just business-wise in the district. We've had in the past week a lot of courageous conversation trainings. So our our district equity leadership team met with our consultant, I don't know what you call her, consultant, last week. And then our teams, our equity teams from the sites came together, and we did some training, and some training is not really the right word, but sort of deep inner work. Anyway, we really talk about personal, local, and immediate. And so we're learning about how to make our district a more equitable place. But what I have learned, and I think we all are hearing in many ways, is that it kind of starts with us. So we have to do that work with ourselves. And so that's a lot of what we do. So I'm grateful to really to all of our staff, but especially the people who have sort of said, I really want to be a part of leading this work. So we're grateful to you. Other than that, there's a lot of shows happening at the schools. I haven't been able to attend, but I want to give them a shout out. And there's more happening. I think Terra Nova's Play was last week. Westmore has a music show. Jefferson has a show, I think. What'd you say?
I think
the band is performing. Yeah. So look at your school's calendars and show up. These are the adult school has tomorrow night a concert. So there's just a lot happening, which is exciting and also hard for us all to attend. But if you can make it out there, go, because that's a lot of the fun stuff. So that's it. Thank you.
I don't know any board members have any report out from their subcommittees. Okay, moving on to our local AFT 1481 report.
Good evening, everyone. I have a lot of union siblings in the room today, and I had our executive board meeting, our AFT 1481 executive board meeting today. And we talked about, what we do as educators. So we're a union, a wall-to-wall union, almost. So we represent just about everyone: custodians, bus drivers, teachers, counselors, office workers. And the topic of how to get more money to everyone is a big topic. You know, I always say that better working conditions means better learning conditions for our students. So that's what we're fighting for, is better learning conditions, because we all came into education not for the money, but for what we do, is for our students. And that doesn't mean that we should be not paid well and treated well. There's a lot of different ways to get money. There's a lot of different things that we need to do in this world, in this country, in this state. So we're fighting for that. The CFT goes and does lobby days, and we fight for education. But I also want to say we do show up for our union siblings. And when we spoke today, we talked about the fact that sometimes we have to make different decisions than we want to. So we have to decide what's best. And I don't know what that is. We need to think about not just ourselves. We're also thinking about our students, our community. There's people out there that need jobs, and there are right ways about going about things. So we're just hoping that we can come together and do the right thing by all of those groups, because there's a lot of different groups that we need to think about. So I just wanted to make sure that I spoke after talking to the executive board that, you know, we're trying to keep everybody in our arms. So thank you.
Okay, moving on to our consent agenda items. Can I get a motion to approve consent?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor can say aye.
Aye.
All right, moving on to public comments. Do we have any speakers for public comment?
We do.
If you want to go ahead and call the first one, but first I will just say, that we're having public comment. These are a time to speak for items that aren't on the agenda. We give 3 minutes for public comment, and because the items are on the agenda, the board cannot respond. So with that, I will go ahead and ask for that we call up the first speaker.
First speaker is Jonathan Urema.
Great. You can just step up here. You speak into the mic. It isn't so we can hear you. It's so the people watching on YouTube. Yeah.
I'll give you a quick warning in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sorry. So the other thing I would like to share is that our meetings are translated. Okay. So if you can speak into the mic and just speak a little slower so that the translators can do their job.
They translate Samoan too.
They translate into Spanish, but you can look into it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan Yeremia. I'm a field rep for North Cal Carpenters, and we represent 37,000 carpenters in Northern California. I'm out of 22, so we represent 3,000. And I believe San Mateo County, there's 1,600. That's a lot of carpenters. And I grew up here in Daly City. You know, I went to FDR, Fernando, then I went to Terra Nova, hit a rough patch and got my GED back here, and I actually worked for the district for 2 years before joining the North Cal Carpenter. The apprenticeship, very important. And I think it needs to get promoted more and spread out to our kids in the district, right? It definitely changed my life. It gave me a great opportunity, you know. I was a troubled kid, you know, rough patches. Some people could speak for that, but I changed it around, you know, thanks to the apprenticeship program that I went through. And another thing that's very important, I think, is a local hire. You know, there's a lot of carpenters who are out of work now. You know, the city slowed down on everything. But if for upcoming projects that we have, they won't have to go to Fresno to work. They won't have to go to SAC. They can stay right here in Daly City and Pacifica. And these are the same people who have kids that are going to the school, which, you know, out of these districts, right? So I think that's very important to speak on. And then another thing is holding these contractors that come through our cities accountable for what they're doing. Make sure that they're doing the right thing. They're on their job sites. They're paying labor standard, and they're keeping their workers happy. You know, on a lot of non-union job sites, it happens. It's a crime scene. And if you want to see it, I could walk you on. But that's very important to me. And being a second, this again, the apprenticeship programs, it should be, I mean, I'll come talk to your high schools and stuff, and I'll give you my card, and it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? I damn near went from 30K just mopping floors over here to making 100 grand in the last 10 years. I mean, where can you do that with apprenticeship programs? And you don't have to go to college, right? I know we preach college all the time, but I think that we should start preaching more to the kids about going through apprenticeship programs. And that's all I wanted to say. And good to see a lot of you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Lorraine Mata.
Sorry, I took notes. I'm not going to go off the fly, but I should be under 3 minutes. Good evening, everybody. My name is Lorraine Mata. Thank you for giving me a chance to speak. So I actually have some history here. I know some of the former teachers here too, and I've actually graduated here in this very building and went to all Jefferson Union School District schools too. So I'm here to comment on the upcoming projects within your district and the importance of keeping it union work. Monica stated earlier, she's here in support, and I've been here in support for her as well. I'm here to support not only my best friend who just spoke, but I'm here as a fellow union worker myself and for union apprenticeship programs as well. I'm sure this being a district office, you guys do support furthering education, which I have promoted apprenticeships as an alternative to college actually at your guys' college fair down the street a couple months ago too. And also at Wilderness in the past. But being a lifelong resident, a former student, and a volunteer for Wilderness, having your support to keep the upcoming projects union not only provide work for those that are part of this community, but it also provides prevailing wages and sets a standard for the type of work that's being performed here. So just like him, I'm more than happy to come and volunteer and also provide what the apprenticeship programs provide and an alternative too, because, you know, why not? It got me far, and obviously it's good to see former teachers here doing well. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last public comment comes from Brian Shields.
Hello, my name is Brian Shields. I'm covering Carpenters Local 217, and I feel that it's unfair that I had to go third after those two. So maybe a bit like you, Charette. I understand. Yeah, my name is Brian Shields. I work here in San Mateo County, and like what was said before, apprenticeships paved the way for me, right? GED, the whole thing, rough patch, high school, rough upbringing a lot of the time too, and this provided the way forward for me. So this is my I believe in everything that I say, and I believe in every hour that I put into this. One of the things that I'd just like to specifically talk about Serramonte Del Rey, and sort of like a common misconception out there is like, hey, Carpenters Union, union GCs don't build market rate, right? And I'd like to sort of dispel some of that tonight. Market rate has and will, and it continues to be one of the places that we do operate, right? And I have a list of jobs here. We have Cadence Phase 1 and 2, DevCon in South San Francisco did that. The Indigo, which Cahill did, another union GC, that was in Redwood City. Talbot Square, that's in San Mateo. Morgan Apartments, that's Plant Construction, San Mateo. Sequoia Bellhaven, DevCon, Menlo Park. You have, I don't even know how you say this, Hinson's, which Suffolk built in South San Francisco. This is I have a longer list, but I don't want to just sit here and piecemeal stuff to you. This is so important for the people of Daly City, for the residents of Daly City. And like what was said before, when there aren't labor provisions, especially on market rate, what we find is just a highway, all out onslaught of people being extorted out on the job site. You know, recently here in San Mateo County this year, your Carpenters Local 217 helped the Department of Justice bust a human trafficking case where they were taking people over the border and making them work it off, you know? So what is happening right here. Don't ever assume that we didn't drive by it on our way here, right?
30 seconds.
Thank you. And so anyways, being an institution in San Mateo County, and Jefferson Union High School being an institution in San Mateo County, I really feel that there's a pathway forward for us and to have conversations and love to stay involved on future development. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So do we have any other cards for public comment? Is that it?
Those are all the cards.
Thank you so much. Moving on to discussion items. Our first item up on the agenda is our board liaison assignments. I'll turn it over to Superintendent Presta if you want to say anything about this. But
excuse me, sorry. Yes. Yes, now I have a tickle in my throat. So each year we kind of talk about the assignments, make changes if we need to, take off or add subcommittees if we want to. And I've got a list of last year's in front of me. Kalima has that as well. But if you want to just start us off and go through and see who wants to volunteer.
I don't know. I think do we need to make any changes to the list or do we need to take it?
Does everybody have it in front of them?
Yeah.
You want to just read through it?
I'm personally okay with the ones I'm assigned to.
Yeah.
I don't see any need to change for this year.
I'm okay. And the only thing is just for the ones that where we haven't had meetings to maybe try to do those this year.
Mhm.
I would love to have one with the Jefferson Elementary School District because of the new superintendent and board. And then we haven't met with the Daly City Cultural Chamber, but I feel like we have because we see them everywhere. But it would be nice to have a sit down meeting to talk to them, especially to thank them for all of the stuff that they're doing.
So the ones that are as needed, like set them up.
Yeah. So if I'm just pulling out the ones, so if you can try to, and these are just my suggestions. But I would like to see a meeting this year with us and the Chamber of Commerce and with us in Jefferson Elementary.
There's a new superintendent in Pacifica. Do you want to do that same thing?
Yes.
The top one no longer exists. The JUHSD Pacifica Water District, City of Pacifica, the Joint Articulation.
We never figured out what the successor would become.
No, I think we just disbanded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can just delete that one. I think that group kind of disbanded. Is there one for Pacifica? Actually, I'm not even seeing.
No, there isn't one, but we probably should have one with us in PSD.
Yeah. So there's one for Brisbane and there's that same team is for Bayshore. It's of course as needed. Do you want to make a different one for Pacifica or do you want to add that on to the Jefferson maybe or?
No, I think it should be
separate.
Separate.
Very unique issue.
Okay. So Brisbane and Bayshore are also very separate issues, but do you want to make 4 of them or do you want to?
I think we can separate Brisbane and Bayshore. I think we had it together because we're all discussing Bayland.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to add, so Andy and Kalima are on, do you want me to toss a coin, Brisbane or Bayshore?
I mean, I'm fine staying on both. I mean, are you?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm fine.
So we're just going to have the same for those two. And then for Pacifica, so do you want a new team or do you want to have Rosie and Charette be on the Pacifica one? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to do
on
the
that.
similar pattern as, okay. So we'll just have Rosie and Charette be on the Pacifica one. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're volunteering you. Sure.
Yeah. All right. The PTA that has not been meeting for a long time, but they may start meeting again.
Yeah, that's totally different than the Jefferson Council.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this was we used to have pre-COVID,
Mhm.
2 meetings a year with the presidents of all the PTAs and PTOs.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think that might be a good thing to try to do once this year because of
Mhm.
the different things we have coming up.
Okay. Okay, so do once. All right. Jefferson Council is the one that hasn't met for a long time.
Yeah, I can, I'll get in touch with them.
Okay. EHC, school boards, Summit Shasta.
So I was thinking maybe seeing if somebody else wanted to do the student advisory with Rosie. Since I'm going to be doing once a week.
Yeah,
with you
since
now.
you're going to be doing once a week with me.
Yeah,
that's not
just so I can focus
bad
on
idea.
that.
Yeah, you don't want to come work here too?
Not yet.
I'll do student advisory with Rosie.
Okay.
It's trouble.
You just lost an hour and then you lost 4 hours, but
Like I
gained
said, I
2.
find a way to.
It's 2 hours.
Oh, man, what am I getting myself into?
All right. Okay, I get to still see Andy. Okay. Any other changes? Anybody feeling left out, like they're not on enough committees?
That looks good. Looks good to me.
Great. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so now moving on to the school plan for Westmore. I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Superintendent Baca.
Good evening, President Salahuddin. Good evening, members of the board. Tonight, I am very happy to announce Mr. Brock Aarons, who will be presenting the school plan for student achievement for Westmore High School. Mr. Aarons. And Ms. Yee.
Yeah. A whole game. So, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to present Westmore High School tonight. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge my administration team. I learned very early on from my parents, there's no place worth going that you get there by yourself. So I want to acknowledge them for being here tonight and helping me there out to school. Tina Yee, Victor Zhao, and Dr. Sterling He. I want to thank them for their collaborative leadership and their growth mindset for continuous improvement at Westmore. Slides on here. Is it going?
You might need to.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody want to just offer a little support here?
I have the slides in front of me, so I'm going to go.
Okay, there we go.
Back.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start with the overall picture of our school highlights. I'm very excited about the light that shines on Westmore. So let's start with the new facilities and the upgrades. We have coming in January a new digital sign on the way. So we have that sign up there in the corner. I want to thank Tina's help for that as well. So you're going to be able to see that from the bottom of our hill on both sides of the road. It's currently replacing the school sign that's been there since probably 1993 or 94. I was asked to get new parts for that old sign. They do not make the parts anymore. So very excited to be able to put up our games and our events in our theater. We got new floor tiles in the 100 and the 400 hallways in the cafeteria area as well. The next area I want to talk about is school safety. We just received the Healthy Kids survey back from 9th and 11th grade. A few areas stood out to us as the school perceived as very safe for the 9th graders. It grew from 2021-22 to 2022-23, plus 19% for 9th graders, which is a huge growth. The other areas that stood out was caring adult relationships. Again, for 9th grades, it grew by 13%. And again, the Healthy Kids survey was taken by 9th and 11th graders. So we will have the 9th grader score from the previous year, this upcoming year as well. High expectations. I like to see that. So that grew from 10% for ninth graders and 11% for the 11th graders on that survey as well. So just very, very excited. As far as the professional learning communities, on Wednesday, we have our collaborative days. A few areas that we've been focusing on are, of course, our blue sheets, our student learning objectives, plus our rubric, which we added this year. We're continuing to do our instructional walkthroughs. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. We've added, thanks to Victor, the Bell Schedule Committee, and we just added the equity team to look at the processes and procedures at Westmore High School as well. Getting back to the California Healthy Kids Survey, anything highlighted in green is a plus. Anything highlighted in red, we've gone down in. So as we go back to the previous slide, school connectedness, we all know if students are connected to their school through clubs, through arts, through sports, they're going to do better in the classroom. So you can see that where it grew 2021 to 2022-23 from 49% to 59%. So we're very excited to be able to see that. You can see the numbers for academic motivation as well. That grew by 5% for the freshman class and 4% by the 11th grade class. And the one that I was really excited about seeing, caring adult relationships. We talk a lot about Westmore, about building the community there. And that's grown from 53% to 66% for the freshman class from one year to the next. So very excited about seeing that as well. High expectations. If you just focus on the two green box, that's close to 80%. And that's expectations not only inside the classroom, but outside in the hallways, in the courtyard, being respectful towards each other as well. We continue to make meaningful participation in our classrooms, and we want to continue to grow those areas. School perceived as very safe. From the ninth graders in 2021 to 2023, moved from 45% to 64%. I want to thank Dr. He for that. He leads our Big Five. He helps to make sure that all exterior doors are locked when our kids are in school, that our students and staff drill through those Big Five drills, and that we know that kids cannot learn if they don't feel safe. So I want to thank Dr. He for setting that up for us and really focusing on that area for the last 2 years. Experiences within harassment and bullying has gone down a little bit as well, from 30 to 29%. You can see the 11th graders, 24 to 21%. And then I'm going to jump all the way down. Some of the areas that we need to continue to work on. You see the current alcohol and drug use. You see the 11th graders from one year to the next has grown from 21-22 to 22-23, from 6% to 14%. So we've been talking a lot about that as a leadership team, and what we're going to do at WISE is getting the wellness team into the classrooms as far as assemblies as well. The blue sheets, you've been hearing a lot about blue sheets at Westmore High School. So as we move the curriculum from in front of the teachers to in front of our students, and it's student-facing learning objectives, we realize that students become connected to the curriculum when it's in front of them. So we start with the essential question there at the top. And the essential question is to guide their inquiry-based learning. So we start there, then we bring it down to student learning objectives. And then the students do a self-evaluation of where they feel like they are at for each objective and where they might need some more help on. And then you can see where it's going to be addressed in class. And then again, where it's going to be assessed. So again, I think Westmore is the cutting edge on the blue sheets. And again, it's about putting the curriculum in front of the students and having them self-reflect about where they're at and where their gaps in learning. You notice in the blue, the scope and sequence is always on there too as well. So in junction with what we're doing with the district. I want to point out to Mr. Zhao next in his work with our AP exams. Total AP class enrollments and exams ordered for 2023 and 24. Total number of students taking AP courses is 318. When I talked to Mr. Zhao today, that's about 25% of our school, but they are enrolled in 619 courses among those 318 students. And you can see the comparison across the district as far as how many AP exams. He's really been encouraged on our students to stretch themselves in getting to those classes. I want to thank Mr. Zhao for that. Now that we move the potatoes to the side and the bread to the side, we're going to focus on the meat. So our huge highlights is in our English language arts. For students that met or exceeded growth, I want to start with the district first. JUHD is at 53%. California is at 47% of California students that met or exceeded growth in English language arts. And Westmore is at 66.25%. So again, it's up 19% overall meeting and exceeding comparison to the state. And I believe a year ago, we were at 91% participation rate. State cutoff is 95%. We made it to 97%. We're starting to take a closer look at our subgroups. So you can see the 82% of our Asian students meeting or exceeding, and then going down to 48% of our Hispanic students. And then you look over at the circle, those are the percentages of where our kids scored at each level. So you had to get at least a level 3 or level 4 to be able to meet or exceed. But very, very proud of the work that our English teachers have done, 66.25%. We move on to math. What Westmore leads in math. The JUHD is at 30% for students meeting or exceeding. California is currently at 35%. Westmore finished up this last year at 39.31%. Now, as we look at this slide, we think, God, that seems low. But during the COVID years when kids were on Zoom, math is one of those areas where you have to be able to scaffold out problems. You got to be able to use manipulatives in class. So they really missed a lot, and it's down across the whole entire state. So again, Westmore met and exceeded at 39.31%. And again, I'm very proud of our participation rate. State cutoff again is at 95%. Westmore was at 97% participation rate. That's up 4% overall meeting and exceeding comparison to our state. So very proud there as well. Now, Miss Tina Yee was in charge of our, what's called our, I have no idea how she came up with this, the Ram Resort. In my conversations with Miss Presta, she talked to us about getting families engaged. So Tina had put together the Ram Resort. So every third Thursday, we do parent workshops at Westmore High School to increase engagement with our families. And then Tina's done a great job of asking them, where do you need help with? So the first area was parent view. How do you get online? How do you check your students' attendance? How do you check your students' grades? And then she moved from there, and you guys talked about it. The board talked about it tonight, how important mental and health awareness is, because we know if our kids don't feel socially, emotionally safe, they can't learn. Tina's also did a section on college and career fair for the district wide. And then you see that fourth bullet there, it says Fall Effort Awards. I actually brought that in from North Carolina. And what is that? In high schools, the top 1% students get recognized all the time. How do you get equity and recognize the other students? So Tina had the staff were able to vote on their students. And if they have improvements in attendance, behavior, or grades, they showed improvement in their class. They were recognized by their teacher. And then Miss Yee helped set up, and you can see the photo there, and that was Effort Awards night for the fall. We'll do another one in the spring. So again, Improvements in attendance, behavior, or academics. You don't have to be the top student to be recognized at Westmore. Upcoming is FASA, course selection for information night, college career night. We'll do another spring effort awards night and then senior awards night as well. E-team. So Ms. Presta has brought this on strong along with the board. Each school needs to look at their process, procedures, and their programs. Are we being equitable for all? And that word says all up there. And we need to look at what we're doing as leaders and that we're speaking for the whole school. So here's what we've done so far. So my team has met every third Thursday of the month. We've currently had 3 meetings on site besides training with the district. We've come up with a goal for 2023-24, grading for equity. I'm very passionate about not liking the 0 to 100 point scale. I don't think it's equitable. I don't think it's fair. The administration team has pulled teachers' grades every progress report period. The team has met with any teachers that have 25% D's or F's in their class. And we've had one-on-one conversations with them. So trust me, the number of D's and F's have gone down because they don't want to talk to us. That's a good thing. We provided staff PD led by our teachers trained in grading for equity. I provided articles for the staff. Why zeros are not effective. Why not replace them with I's? Because it's about motivation. How do we motivate a student if you're giving them a 19? We talked about retesting and not just giving them a partial grade on the retest, but giving them the higher score. If I was selected as president, I would say 50% cutoff for all Fs. I would really like the cabinet and the board to look at a possible 50% cutoff for Fs. If you give a student 3 zeros, it's almost nearly impossible to catch up and pass a class. But at 50, I tell our teachers, you're still giving them an F, just don't give them below that, right? Then that motivates them. Doreena's talked about this, that cuts down on discipline, right? If a student gets a 19, they're frustrated, they don't come to school, they don't do well. So I really believe as professionals, we need to continue to encourage them. And if I was making law tonight, I have it at 50% cutoff for Fs. Bail schedule committee, Mr. Zal's helped a lot with this. The mission and purpose, identify areas for students' needs, more time for students and teachers, opportunity for more credits. Westmore only offers 240 credits in 4 years. We have 6 periods, whereas Jefferson's on a 4x4. They're offering 320. That's a huge difference when kids have to make up classes and giving them the opportunity to do that. So that's why this bail schedule committee has been formed. Again, going back to the equity that we're trying to help all kids. Again, with Westmore's graduation rate, AG completion, looking at moving from 6 to 7 periods, which would give teachers also 2 preps. I would take one for them to work and they'd have the other. And how can we give our students much needed academic and mental health support through flex time? So we're still looking at that. And how can we provide more face-to-face time between teachers and students at a manageable pace? Right now, we provide after-school tutoring, but you got to remember the athletes that are going to sports, they don't have access to that. A lot of our students are going to work, they don't have access to that. So we have to carefully look at our bail schedule, and is that meeting the needs of all our students? And the first time that we've looked at that in years. So again, identifying the needs and challenges, student achievement. We always want to increase our graduation AG completion rates. We want to look at our math broad category, starting with foundation skills. Credit recovery is what we've added. We've added Apex not only after school, but during school. She has done a great job getting our parents on campus for parent engagement. You can see SBSA Goal 2. We need to take a heavy look at alcohol and drug use intervention, Inspire program. We continue to work with our mental and physical health. And English learners and students with SPED, we're going to look at those subgroups that are not doing as well. And we added an EL tutoring program with Apex after school Monday and Tuesday, taught by one of our Spanish counselors. So we're trying to think outside the box to be able to help all our students. And then again, we want to always be inclusive and voice. So we got the grading for equity, and we're constantly looking at our bail stuff. Again, just real quick on this, as we start each year, before high schools are like battleships, you got to set course. So Westmore's goal, since I've been there, we always start with building community and relationships. The administration has good relationships with our staff, and our staff has good relationships with our students. We all have good relationships with our community, that we're inclusive and we're going in the same direction. Our 4 pillars are on there as well. We act with integrity, treat everyone with respect, collaborate using collective intelligence, plan with critical thinking. And we just made adjustments on our 4th bullet. Make decisions by valuing a vision of equity and student inclusion. So we're going to continue to be able to focus on that and grow. And then our initiatives, again, our blue sheets, we continue our work on that as we're ready for WASC in March. And that's just so students understand where they're going. They'll have a greater connection. Our student engagement, our teachers, instructional coaches will support each other to promote high levels of student engagement. I was excited to hear from our students that 80% of them feel like, hey, we have high standards there. And then we want to always do formative assessments, make sure that we're checking for an understanding, because you don't want to lose kids. Okay, here's where some of the money spent. So after school and peer tutoring program, you see it's at $50,000, site collaboration, college career workshop, and so forth there. You can see the ethics studies, and I've been in those classes along with my team, and kids get to share out about their passion, about their family and about the community. And that's when they really get connected. Yeah. And thank you a lot.
Thank you for the presentation, and I open it up to the board for any questions or comments.
I'll start. Congratulations. Thank you. I've already said it tonight. These things don't happen by accident. So, as an example, you talked about English language arts achievement at your school. It doesn't happen by accident. It happens by planning. You talked about improving math achievement, and that's not going to happen by accident either. So I commend you for having, for presenting us with your planning, for presenting us with your team strengths and showing us what Westmore is all about. I have one question. You said that you disfavor the 100-point system. So I don't even know if I want to get into this, but
we got 2 more hours.
So I remember this. I remember teaching at a very traditional school. Sorry, I taught at the oldest school in the country, a place where the parents would say to you, Harvard was founded so our boys had a place to go to college, which was true. It was just in 1634. I understand what you're talking about, and I'm curious, is it just about the 50-point F, or is there some type of problem with not only traditional 100-point system, but also A through F system?
Yes. So when I asked teachers why you give zeros to kids that miss a test or don't complete assignment, well, that's what we've always done, right? Since the Industrial Revolution, we've always used this point system. But again, it goes back to how we motivate our students in class. We have to provide them with hope. They're not all going on to Stanford or Cal or anywhere else. We have to move students from where they're at and not from where we're at. So when you put in zeros and you can do the math and you have 3 tests and you have 2 zeros and 100, their grade point average is still what? I mean, it's below 50. It's in the 30. They're still failing. So when I see a teacher that gives a student a 19, I have to ask the question, why? Does it provide motivation? Does it provide encouragement? Or does it provide discipline problems in your classroom? Right? So I think we have to constantly reflect on what we're doing to encourage kids to move forward. Right? So we're having conversations and we're pulling up the progress reports every term and we're having conversations. But you know who we're having conversations with? The teachers that have been around a long time. And then the same question, because this is what I've always done. That's not good enough for me.
Thank you.
Trustee Lee?
Really great presentation, Mr. Ahrens. I appreciate the passion that you have for several of the topics in particular that came up. One of the things I just want you, if you can unpack a little bit further, one, I love the idea of the Ram Resort. I think that's fantastic, Ms. E. But talk to me a little bit about the Fall Effort Awards. What specific type of awards are students being given with the Fall Effort Awards? Because I love the idea.
Yeah, so I recognize this is my 4th school as principal, and I recognize down the line that I was passing out awards to the same kids, even though it was different kids. It was the top 1%. So from an equitable standpoint, not all students were being recognized. So now at Westmore, all little Johnny has to do is show up to class, have good attendance, or have good behavior. It doesn't necessarily have to have the academics. So again, it's going back to motivating kids, right? So it's something that I brought with me from the South, where kids are not academically inclined, to keep them motivated, to keep them coming to school, right? So Miss Shi has set this up. So she provides a certificate signed by me in the administration. Their parents are invited in. We provide food and snacks. And for the first time, the parents get to see their child. Whoa, he's being recognized at school for improvement in just behavior. It could just be one of the 3. And he's never received an award his whole entire educational career. That's powerful.
Yeah, that is. Thank you so much. That's really, really great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes. Having been a former RAM mom, I know we always struggle with family engagement, and it's something that we struggle with throughout the district, especially when you have families working, different hours of the day. And it's just a matter of you have to keep trying. And I really commend you for doing that. We had a very robust PTA at Westmore, but we still didn't know how to, it really has to do with the administration. The PTA can't do everything. You've got to really partner with the leadership there to get families out. So that was always really hard, but I really commend you for really, checking in with families. What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you need help with? We're here for you. And just be very inviting, because that also encourages the students. And what I really love is that in everything that you brought forth in your presentation, it's about encouragement. How do we keep the students in school? And because that's really, really important. How do we best serve our students? So I just want to thank you for all of your hard work. Please thank all of your staff and teachers, and especially your administration here. So what a super team you have. And I want to thank you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for your time. Thank you for the presentation. In this data-driven world, it's always nice to see numbers. They're relatable. I think they're more easily relatable than statistics and other kind of things that don't make a lot of sense sometimes. Numbers kind of show more of what's going on. And obviously it looks like your efforts are paying off. I mean, you're seeing change in a positive direction. So commend you for that. Just, I guess one of the things that still kind of bothers me is just looking at some of the, lower numbers like the Hispanic students meeting or exceeding, or some of the socioeconomically disadvantaged students being so low on the percentage of those math scores. And I kind of see what you're doing as a game plan, generalized game plan, the outline that you have, but what in those statistics, what are you seeing mostly that's kind of affecting those socially economically disadvantaged kids or the Hispanic kids? What are those data points that you're getting, and how are you, going about, trying to resolve that?
Yeah. So I first would like to get the data in and sit down with my administration team. I think today's leadership's got to be very collaborative, to be inclusive and get some input from the administration team. Then I move on to my instructional coaches in the department chairs. But when you have kids, let's just talk about EL students, and when they move into this country and they're moving into Westmore High School as a junior or senior, they missed a lot of foundational skills. And it's always, to me, it's always because Tony and I were talking about this yesterday. We started off as elementary teachers and elementary principals. That's a huge advantage because my background's in instruction. It's in vocabulary. It's in phonics. So that's where it starts. So kids have to understand words before they're able to read sentences. So it's getting our teachers to the level of teaching the vocabulary in the development. That's called differentiating instruction in class. Because a lot, especially high school teachers, they put the whole class in one box and they teach them the same way. They're all different. They all got different needs. So it's just providing more professional development. And we do a lot of district professional development, but we do our own as well. If I find a good lesson from one of our teachers, EL teachers, Ms. Collins came in and presented to our staff on vocabulary instruction for EL students last month. So I'm looking for our stars on our campus and having them teach their peers and then going on from there. But it's foundational skills and just spending more time on that.
Thank you.
So echo my colleagues, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for taking the time to be here and talk to us. I really enjoyed when we get our package going through the presentation and reading it at home. And it just, some of the comments that I had is just one, just thinking about how far Westmore has come since when I first started here 11 years ago. And the acceptance of all students and just accepting the challenge of all students. So I'm grateful and I thank you for that. And then I also, thank you for the courage of trying new things. It's very hard, especially in education, to try to do something different, especially in service to our students who just normally are not expected or just don't perform well. And so there's so many different things in here that help all of us expand our thinking on education, that it's not as one thing. That I feel like there's so much pressure, especially from the outside, that if we do something for these set of students, that we're not going to do something for those. So if we're doing programs or something that helps serve our students that normally, as you say, are not seen as academic, are not performing academically, that means we're dropping the students that are normally achievers. So how do we make sure and how do we help people understand that we can do multiple things at once? We can walk and chew gum, that we can do things that are programs like this, and we still have high academic and high achievement standards for all of our students. They're not mutually exclusive ideas. So I really liked walking through this, and you could see how you were doing things for all students in all areas throughout this presentation. And then just to hit on one of the things you said, I have 3 kids who are all very different academic students, very different. And I had one daughter who had never received an academic award in her high school career. And the first time she received it was in the program that she was assigned to at Skyline. I can't remember the name of the program, like the summer learning program that they have. The pride that the first time she was seen as, seen as academic. This is possible for her. And she did graduate and get her A. And I can point back to that moment and say, that was the moment she believed it was possible for her. Because she had been told almost her entire high school career, getting Fs, getting zeros, giving up. So just watching your child's soul slowly die in high school is hard.
Yeah. So
how can we move away? And this is big thinking, because we are so born and bred in that A and F, 100 to a 0 world, to move away from it so that we save children's souls. And that's not an over exaggeration. You know, and even thinking about our high achieving students, how many students during COVID, because the grade didn't count, just said, well, I don't want to take the AP test, or I don't want to finish this because the grade isn't there. So it's also taking away from our high achieving students the value of learning, that you're here to actually learn something. The grade is to show you how well you did in it, but the goal is the lesson. Because there's so many things, like my AP classes and my AP education, because I didn't go to college, I lean so much on my AP history and my AP calculus, and teaching me how to problem solve. And, you don't realize that. And so to see students give up because they weren't going to get the grade, it's damaging to a lot of our students. So I don't know if this is the solution. And I'm saying this so that people give us the space to try and give us the space to fail and try something else, because what we're currently doing isn't working. So thank you for trying. And I'm hopeful that we'll be able to support you in any way we can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I have so many thoughts. I'm not going to say them all because we have a long night. I want to echo a lot of what Kalima just said. In my whole career, I think the thing that I've learned the most is that we need to make it safe as teachers for students to fail. We need as principals to make it safe for our vice principals and our staffs and our teachers to fail. And as a superintendent, I need to make it safe for everybody here to fail, because we learn from that. And we need to try new things, because the system needs to be kind of blown up a little bit and then reconstructed. And the only way we're going to do that is by trying new things. So I just really want to echo that. I also want to say, I get to meet with Brock all the time and I hear about all these great things. And then I think, oh, I've got to tell the board about that. Or, oh, I've got to tell, and I know, and my executive cabinet is all there. Doreen's always talking to the VPs and Kareen's talking we're always talking to you, but we don't always relay all the information to the board. And so that's what these presentations, what I really love is that they actually get to see the great things that you guys are doing at your sites. Because I'm super proud. I'm super proud of you and your team. I'm super proud of the work that you're doing. And I'm not gonna call out the individual stuff because we've talked a lot, but keep it up. Well done.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Have a good night. Go. All right, moving on to our agenda, we have our next steps of presentation. I don't know if you want to introduce them.
I'd like to welcome Miss Megan Carey.
The theme of the night is not to go second. I did not bring my VPs. I gave mine the night off. Just teasing. Just teasing.
Somebody leave the window open.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for having me here tonight to speak about Terra Nova High School and to present our plan for student achievement. Is it going?
There it goes.
Oh.
Yeah, but no, and also it is working for you now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there it goes.
Okay.
On the download thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So here is our mission statement. And as you know, Terra Nova, we are a comprehensive high school. We have a full-fledged academic program alongside a very robust list of co-curricular and extracurricular programs. And our mission statement really, really embodies that. Sure, I know how to use the clicker. I keep using the wrong side. All right. So before I get into our goals and strategies for the year, I do want to take some time to share some of our highlights. And the first would be our newly created Terra Nova mentoring program. We spent most of last year creating this program, and we launched it just this fall. The goal of our mentor program is to foster caring and helpful relationships between students and adult mentors in order to improve students' overall school engagement. Our mentors meet with their student mentees for about an hour each week. And during that time, they focus on improving attendance, grades, their relationships, organization, time management, and so much more. We identified students as possible mentees based on school engagement indicators such as grades, attendance, behavior, and other special needs. And then we then began outreach to the students and their families before we paired them with one of our mentors. Right now, we have 5 mentors from across our school community who are serving approximately 18 students. And early signs right now show that our investment in this program is having a positive impact on our students. We're seeing improved grades, improved attendance, less discipline referrals amongst our students than we did in the past year. And we do recognize that we're going to need to continue monitoring the data, but already it's showing a huge positive impact. And, you know, our issue is probably going to be how to expand this program going forward so that we can reach even more students. A good problem to have, but definitely we can see it on the horizon. Another highlight is the continued growth for our students with disabilities, especially in our English language art scores on our CASP. Since 2019, our scores have doubled. And I think this really highlights the hard work and dedication our special education staff, which includes the case managers, paraprofessionals, alongside the teachers and the counselors, have been doing to refine their work on student supports in our programs. And I definitely don't want to forget giving both Lee and Grace a huge shout out and appreciation for all their hard work, how much time they put into sitting alongside us with our program. And then similar to my friends over at Westmore, we too have seen an increase in our California Healthy Kids data with students reporting positive school engagement and supports. And this is across multiple indicators and student subgroups. All right. And so while we have a lot to celebrate, we also recognize that we're always growing and looking to improve. And with that said, these would be our 3 main areas of focus for us as a school community. And our school goals, which I'll show in just a minute or two, reflect them. So the first would be our academic achievement. While we did see an increase with our CASP scores this time last year, unfortunately this year our overall scores declined, specifically in English language arts. So we're needing to keep a close eye on those scores. While it was expected, we knew COVID and at-home learning were going to have an impact on our students. We were definitely surprised by the significant decline. Another area of need for us at Terra Nova continues to be creating a system of support for students, where we have a structure to identify struggling students early and how to deliver targeted interventions. And then lastly, we remain focused on our school attendance. Since we've always had high attendance rates, but since COVID, they've definitely increased. Last year, we spent time creating a chart of interventions, and this year our goal has been to implement them and monitoring them at regular intervals. Okay. And so these are our 3 school-wide goals. The first is our focuses on academic achievement. The second focuses on school culture. And the third focuses on college and career readiness. So in each of the slides, I've listed the strategies associated with that goal, and I'll highlight just a few of them. So with goal 1, where we're looking to increase our academic achievement in English language arts and math, to do that, we are increasing collaboration for departments and collaborative teams, and we're paying special attention to unit objectives and looking to integrate universal design for learning principles, specifically around student engagement and grading practices. We're continuing to make audiobooks accessible to all students as we consider it a core tool for students to access reading. And we have expanded our co-taught math classes. We now offer 2 sections of co-taught math course 1 and 2 classes of co-taught math course 2, which is a significant increase since we first started in 2021, where we only had 1 section. And we're also trying to pilot MyPath, which is a program through Edgenuity, and we're trying to pilot this in both our English and math classes. And MyPath is a supplemental program where teachers can assign students an individual learning plan based on their Renaissance benchmark scores. That's a mouthful. Renaissance benchmark scores. And these plans, they target the skills and the concepts. So that really kind of meet students where they're at. So if a student is needing to catch up, if they need to keep up or they need to move ahead, a teacher can really personalize that plan and monitor their progress along the way. And we're just looking to pilot that. It's very, very early in its early stages. And for goal, I keep putting the wrong side. All right, for goal 2, where we look to address school climate by increasing student engagement, positive behavior, and improving attendance. This is where our mentoring program, which I just discussed, comes in. And it's been a huge initiative for us at Terra Nova. It's a significant cost, but it has the full support of everyone at Terra Nova, as we believe, and we are seeing it really improve the overall school experience and hopefully the outcomes for our students. We're continuing to coordinate our staff climate committee, which is now working alongside our equity team, which has started to focus on inclusive practices and just starting to have discussions on how we can incorporate the district equity lens tool into our practice at Terra Nova. And then again, still looking to implement support programs and a multi-tier of system of supports for our students, where we can be proactive and not reactive with helping our students. And then goal 3, where we look at it, how to improve our college and career readiness amongst our students. First and foremost, it's been within our freshman seminar class, where we are creating unit objectives and implementing a study skills curriculum that address the essential skills this class aims to foster. Looking to see how we can use flex time to target struggling students. And then by reviewing the course taking patterns of our students, looking to see where we can identify where they fall off the A through G path, and then how to increase enrollment of underrepresented students in our advanced classes. And then I think that leads us to just an overview of what our budgeted expenditures are for next year, or for this year, sorry. And that is it. It's my plan. Thank you.
I think opening up again for board comments.
Sure.
Go ahead, Trustee Lee.
Ms. Carey, thank you for that presentation. Very helpful, very good. And as I recall, when we were at when we had our on-site board meeting at Terra Nova, you spoke to us about the mentoring program specifically. Could you, for the benefit of, I know there are a couple of my colleagues were not there at that meeting, so for the benefit of the full board, could you just kind of share how you selected the students that were for mentoring and how you anticipate selecting further students as you grow the program?
Yeah. So the idea behind the mentoring program was to see if we could catch students before they would be identified for possible referral to Thornton High School, right? Continuation school. So we started to look back and identified second semester freshman year, first semester sophomore year as being kind of that sweet spot. And so we identified students based on grade level, how many failing classes they had, what their attendance rates were, and the number of discipline referrals, out of class office referrals or suspensions that they had accumulated last year. We also sought input from counselors, campus supervisors, because they encounter so many students as kind of a first line of support, and some teachers as well. And then from that list, just the outreach began. And I give a lot of credit to our school social worker, Mr. Marsh, as he really kind of started to hit the phones, right? Making contact with parents, making contact with the students to see if they would be interested, talking about the program, what it would entail, how it would work. And then we settled on that list of about 18 students, which leads about, I think it's about 3 to 4 per mentor. And that seems to be at this time just like the perfect amount. Of the 5 mentors, 4 are actually on-site staff members, which helps significantly because they are able to pull a student in. They can talk with them during flex. They can have a real quick conversation in the hallway. One of the mentors is a coach, and she we have the benefit, she actually worked with the Thornton Mentor Program. So she came in with a lot of insight as to how this program could take shape at Terra Nova. And then the 5th mentor is going to be a student teacher at Terra Nova next semester. So we didn't intend for it to be all on-site staff members. It worked out that way. And I think that's a huge benefit for the students. And I think what it's a concern, but it's a good concern, right? Like, how do you grow and keep it manageable at the same time? And that's something that we're needing to monitor, right? Because the feedback has been so positive with the students. How do you graduate a student from the mentor program, right? And then make room, you want it to work so well that they don't need it, but, because you want space for the next student coming in, right? So we still have to kind of figure that out. I will say, just to kind of back up what Tony said a few minutes ago, I remember speaking with her and Corinne going, I don't know if this is going to work. I'm scared. I'm going to launch this and no one's going to apply for it. And it's just going to go up in a big, ball of flames, and it's just going to implode on me. And if this is our concern coming into second semester, then I'd rather have that, be kind of a product of our own success. So, yeah, that's our mentor program.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
Yeah, no, I just want to follow up on that because I was there at that site presentation and I thought it was really cool just when you first started talking about it, how kind of it seems something so easy, right? To kind of create, a space for mentors to come in and help kids, but you don't always get that support. And I think that also kind of addresses some inequities too, because there aren't a lot of advocates for some of these kids at home that have support like that. I personally grew up without parents. My grandmother raised me. So you know, she was kind of hard knocked in the way she loved. And I didn't have mentors growing up. And I think if I did, maybe my course might have went a different way. Just having support, having somebody there that could kind of guide you through those tough times. So you're not making bad decisions, you know, giving you some light into, you know, different pathways and stuff like that. So I think I think that mentorship's really cool. And I think I would be cool to see other schools maybe try to adopt that. I know you mentioned something about it comes at a big cost. I didn't know if that you were talking about financially or just time.
I think right now it was more the financial cost. I don't think at Terra Nova we've seen an investment in our, you know, yearly money towards one program at this level.
Yeah.
So, but it's been worth it, right?
Yeah. I encourage you to keep, you know, trying to go with it. I see a lot of good coming out of it. I really do. So, and I appreciate you taking that chance. I know Ms. Prista was talking about taking chances, you know, and not being afraid to fail. So I think this is one of those big chances you got to take. I think the payoff's going to be worth it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like the students at Terra Nova are well cared for. I spoke earlier about going to the California School Boards Association meeting, talking about speakers who talk about how education is about loving hard. And I thought of Terra Nova when I was there, because I went to back to school night and saw a different group of teachers. I also was at the meeting that my colleagues have mentioned, and I don't know how many teachers there were. Maybe there were 9. And you know, we didn't talk about reading, writing, arithmetic. We talked about mental health challenges. We talked about your mentoring program, and you know, it's the best example I could think of educators working to love hard and seeing that as a result in the students. So that was great to see. I'm glad you support that kind of thing with your staff. I'm glad you get to work with them. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to comment also, I didn't make it to that meeting. So interested in this mentoring program. And I cannot forget that you were my son's counselor at Westmore before you were the principal at Terra Nova. And you cared there, but you also had 400 students you were counseling. My question is, how did this come about? What was the impetus? I mean, how did you come up with this idea that we need this kind of program?
You know, I think it didn't happen any one. I can't turn. How do I explain it? I don't think there was any exact moment. I think it was an evolution of conversations where we would focus on our freshmen, I think, and trying to figure out how to keep them engaged, right? Knowing that freshman year is so important. I think for the staff, that's really kind of the centerpiece of where a lot of those conversations have taken place. I think my counseling background really provided a lot of insight, knowing how difficult it can be to have conversations with students when you don't catch them early, right? I know how much more difficult those conversations can be at Terra Nova when you can't catch them early enough, right? They are so connected to the school, and the distance to get to Thornton is so significant. So it just felt like we had to do something bigger and bolder to keep the students who so desperately wanted to stay at Terra Nova an avenue towards graduation. And because we're as remote as we are, we don't have the benefit of kind of connecting to so many resources, right? So we just felt like we had to create something on our own. So just an evolution of conversations, I think, over the years.
That's fantastic. Because I've, you know, over the years, you know, as a parent and in the school system and as a board member, I've always been told that the time to have effective intervention is middle school. And, but that we're still able to do that here, freshman and sophomore year. It's fantastic. Really commend you guys for thinking bigger.
Thank you. I just echo my colleague statements. I had a quick question on what was the freshman seminar course?
Yes. So freshman seminar is a 1 semester class. We obviously in their freshman year, but we really started it the year after COVID. So after at-home learning. I don't remember the calendar year. Feels like it was all such a blur, right? So the year we came back from at-home learning, we switched from world geography to freshman seminar. A lot of the conversations we were having during at-home learning was what our freshmen needed. I think the additional collaboration and the additional kind of conversations that were taking place on like the soft skills, right? Like we were just saying, like not the academic, right? What do students need to be successful? Really started to get staff to talk about, well, wait a second, we have students that are coming in from so many different middle schools here at Terra Nova. We can't assume that they are going to learn how to be successful at high school, just organically. We're going to have to teach them the skills, which then led to us coming up with the class. So it's 1 semester. The first 2 grading periods, so 12 weeks, are on skills-based study skills, success skills, and then the last 6 weeks is driver's education. Yeah.
And then I just want to say, I thank you for all of your work. Thank the staff for all of their work again. We can't change if we don't change. And so that everyone is leaning in to changes that are not easy for the betterment of our students is very important to me, and it means a lot. So thank you all so much. And I'm not going to say a lot, so I want you to go home.
Well, I just had a cup of coffee, so.
Oh, no, that's right. Impressed.
I similarly am just a little tired now, and we said a lot of stuff that was just in general when Westmore presented. I just want to say 2 things. First of all, it was, as Trustee Walker shared, the meeting at your school site board meeting, I've remarked in some different groups about that particular meeting, because oftentimes when the administration or the board meets with staff, staff is concerned with staff issues, right? Like that's kind of their opportunity to have our ear and to say, these working conditions aren't good, or this, we need you to do this and that. And actually the tone of that meeting, and not that that's a bad thing, that is the opportunity that they have oftentimes. So there's nothing wrong with that. But what stood out about the meeting that we had at your school was really people wanted us to know that the students need wellness, the student need more wellness services. The students need this. They were really concerned about the students. And that just really stood out to me. And, that's why we're all here. And it was, it stood out and it touched me. So I just want to let you know that. And I want to similarly say, I'm super proud of you. I'm super proud of the work that you're doing. And exactly what I said about when I moved with Brock. I meet with Megan on a regular basis. I hear about all the things that they're doing. And I think, I got to remember to tell them about, they're doing this. They were working on MTSS last year, and they were doing all this great work. And so I'm just always happy when you can come and present it to the board and they can get a little sight on what's happening at your site. So well done and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now moving on to our business services, and I'm the first interim budget report for 2023-2024. Deputy Superintendent Van Rampert.
Thank you, President Salahuddin. Good evening, everyone. Before you tonight is the first interim report, which reports on the financial
status as of October 31st and projects the status throughout the rest of the school year. I am happy to say that we are projecting a positive certification, which means that we will be able to meet our financial obligations for the current fiscal year and the 2 subsequent fiscal years. There is an executive summary that I think you all have had a chance to look at, so I won't go into detail unless you have questions or something you would like me to touch on. I would just like to recommend that the board approve the first interim report for this reporting period.
All right. Any questions, comments from the board? Yes, go ahead.
The only thing I just want to say is I always appreciate the executive summary because it makes it very easy and very clear for us to understand exactly where everything is going and how we stack up against, especially since we are a community funded district, how we stack up against what the LCFF funding would look like. And and I appreciate your conservative yet realistic projections on, especially for the outer years. Everything looks great. I don't have any specific questions because everything is pretty well explained for us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Okay, I will also just say, I just want to highlight our fiscal management and that it's a scary time for a lot of school districts. We don't know what's going to happen with the state. There's all these weird things because we were able to pay our taxes late. So that kind of threw the state budget out of whack. And people are late. So the revenues are turning up late. So there's all these outstanding issues. And then the lack of ESSER funds, our federal funds. Everyone now, not everyone, excuse me, a lot of government agencies or government representatives, legislators will talk about there was a ton of money that was flooded into the school system around COVID. But it was all one-time money that has now gone away. And we had to do a whole lot of things with that one-time money, including figure out how to run a school district in the middle of a pandemic, right? With no instructions. So on the other side of that, and still dealing with the effects of COVID that are happening in our school systems, still having to pay for a lot of those things that we paid for initially started with federal funds. The fact that we're able to still be innovative and start new things and do new ideas with the money that we're given, to me, is just phenomenal. And that really starts with having a very good caregiver of our budget and someone that the district as a whole, not just the people in this room, but the district as a whole trusts. And that we're all good fiscal stewards. So as we started this new year in our first interim, even in these murky economic times and not knowing what's going to happen with the state of California, like, are we on the down part of the roller coaster? I'm very proud of the work that we're doing. So thank you. I don't know if you have any comments. Nope. So with that, if I can get a motion to approve the first interim report.
So moved. Second.
Okay, you can pick what you want, Chelsea. With that, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Thank you. Okay, and then moving on now to the resolution 2324/7 for increasing the revolving cash fund. Again, turning up to Deputy Superintendent Van Rappers.
Thank you, President Salahuddin. We have a revolving fund that allows us to conduct business in a timely manner when we can't wait for requesting funds from the County Office of Education. That fund has been set at $4,000 for the last 2 decades, and I would like to recommend that we increase it to $10,000 so that we can actually conduct business.
Okay, any comments or questions? If not, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So now moving on to consideration of future agenda items, if anyone has anything they would like to consider. One of the things that I would like to add for future agenda items is a discussion about the student trustees and just how they interacted and are involved in our board meetings, because interaction has gone down. And so we just need to make some adjustments to make sure they're included and are participating. So
interaction meeting with many extent, or
how they're participating in the meeting. Okay. So I have them be a part of that discussion. And then the other thing I would like to suggest is, on this agenda, we did approve and consent our new equity policy. So I would love to see if we could have a work study in 2024 to discuss how we implement that. What are we going to do now? Anything else? No? All right. With that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.